This woman just sent me a whole long message.
I'm live. They can hear you. Hey, girl. Hey. Hey, boy. Hey. Good day, thinkers, thought leaders, progressives, and dreamers. Let me turn Derek J off. We were on FaceTime. Good day, thinkers, thought leaders, progressives, and dreamers. I'm Craig the Writer Stewart.
And I'm Derek J. I'm right here.
Oh, okay.
I have to get my light on.
And we are here with another edition of Conversations.
Yes.
Derek and I decided to stream from our respective homes tonight.
I don't have any more food or drinks. I'm going to drink up my stuff. So I said, let me just stay where I'm at because, you know, the last thing that we had, he was eating up all my food and drinking up all my drinks. So I was like, girl, you stay at home. Not stay at home.
You like to get ugly when we get on film, I say.
Okay. And then plus, you know, you haven't been home in a while, so I want you to be able to enjoy your home, you know, by yourself. So, yeah. Go ahead.
But at any rate, listen, so this conversation was meant to bridge the gap and open up the conversation between Black gay men and Black women, because as we all know, Black gay men and Black women typically have an amazing bond and an amazing relationship. Mm-hmm. But sometimes that relationship is strained. Sometimes Black women just don't see it for gay men, and sometimes gay men don't see it for Black women. I've actually had Black men say to me that they do not like Black women for whatever reasons. And I've had, you know, Black women say that they have issues with Black gay men for whatever reason. Mm-hmm. But we put the invitation out like we do every single week, every single conversation. We did get people that emailed us, but it wasn't really aligned with what we're trying to talk about tonight. So we didn't pull any of those people in. So what we're going to do for the first time is drop the link down in the comments for those of you who may be in here, who may be interested in participating. But I think that because of the sensitivity of it, so few people really wanted to come on and really say, I have issues with Black women or I have issues with gay men. But if there's some brave people out there.
Well, you know, the crazy thing about it is that, and so, you know, so this weekend, as you know, I went out and I met my friend for drinks. And we took a picture together. And there was a woman, it was two women underneath the picture. One threw a throw-up face. And another woman was like, oh, that's a shame. So, you know, I invited them to come and have a conversation with us also. Because I just feel like, you know, it just amazes me how so many people can speak through social media. Mm-hmm. And, you know, but then when somebody gives them the platform to say, hey, talk to me about what you're saying. Explain to me why you feel this way. Let's figure out what a dialogue is. Nobody wants to do that.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
So again, Derek and I decided that we're going to share our own personal experiences. Mm-hmm. But I did just drop the link down in the in the chat for you guys. If you want to join the conversation on camera with us, you're welcome to. Obviously, you don't have to be seen. We can just hear you. You don't have to turn the camera on per se. If you are, you know, kind of unsure about things that you want to say. But
well, as we say every week that we do this is a safe space.
It's a safe space.
We're not here to argue with you. We're not here to fight with you. If this is your belief, your feeling, this is how you feel about whatever, it's okay. You can have that conversation. And that's fine. You know, nobody is here to argue with you about it. Yes, West Coast Bill. It's not that there's an issue between. So I will just tell you what I gather from this conversation. You know, and so when it comes down to Black women and Black gay men, I feel that a lot of women feel that the Black gay man wants to be them. They have. They always feel they want to take their man, which that's not always the case. It may be the case sometimes, but not. But they also, and it's one. I don't want to say this one because it's something that you brought up. You know, when somebody said to you, and you know that's the biggest one.
Such
you know,
waste.
You're a waste.
Oh, you're such a waste.
You're a waste of a man. You can't, like, so these are that nature. So those are all the conversations that we get from straight women. Then on the flip side, for gay men, gay men just don't see it for women. Like, they just don't want to be with them. So therefore, and I do say that some gay men are very disrespectful to women. They don't respect women at all. So, that's the conversation we really want to kind of have to kind of break through the barriers of what that is.
Right. So I guess we can just kind of go into our personal stuff, and you guys in the chat, you're welcome to join on the camera with us, if you will. I've been dropping the link down in the thread. If you want to join, just click on the link.
Oh, I forgot you in control of this one. Click on, there you go. I forgot you in control. I was like, why is this not working? Because you're in control. In control, y'all.
Okay, so you want to start going into this, or you want to share?
No,
okay, so since this comment is here, and I know the comments are going, I'll start with that, and then I'll come back to like some of my personal experiences. Mm-hmm. So Lola says, I just want to get an understanding of why Black gay men have a preference of being around pretty women, but at the end, those women are the messy ones talking bad about them. I'll talk about the first portion of it. When I was dating girl, like my last girlfriend was in college. And so I always went after the really, really pretty girls. And I didn't understand why at the time. Like for me, it was the pretty girls with the long hair and, all of that kind of stuff. But I think thinking back, and I can't speak for all gay men, but for me, I think looking back, it was my way of being with one of those girls that just, I don't know, she was just really pretty. She was really put together. Those are the things that oftentimes we're drawn to. You know what I'm saying? We're drawn to the aesthetic. Mm-hmm. And it's like now when we see, couples and we think that they're, it's a woman, a straight woman, and it's a gay man, but they're in a relationship and we call them a beard. Mm-hmm. It's the same kind of theory if you think about it. It's almost like I'm going after the girls that I want to be able to baby doll up. Mm-hmm. Now, I can't really speak to the second portion of that question because I've never had that experience.
Well, and I also think that we like to live in a mean girl culture. Like, what I'm saying? The mean girls are, and then what we find out is that, click to Mate Winter.
Okay.
We like the mean girl culture. And I think that, I lost my train of thought. But we just like the mean girl culture.
Right.
And that's it. And those girls, gay or straight, gay men and straight women, we all understand that they're all just insecure people at the end of the day. Right. So the thing is that for gay men, they look at women that they like pretty women they can dress up and play Barbie doll with, and they, in some cases, the woman that if they were a woman they would be. All those things come with insecurities and come with, with baggage.
Right.
So that's what I see from that.
And I think I like Monte's comment because that was one of the things that I have, it's one of my bullet points of things that I wanted to bring up. I have had so many Black gay men that have said that it is so difficult working for or under a Black woman as a manager or as a supervisor, to the same point that he's saying. Now, of course, I've also had Black women who have said the same things, that it's difficult working under a sister. But because for the purpose of this conversation tonight, I just want to talk about gay men that struggle with working under a woman. And I think it speaks to what Monte is saying. And this isn't always across the board, but it definitely is that there's a friction that happens there. And I think it's because, again, sometimes Black women see a gay man as a waste, especially single Black women. Mm-hmm. And a single Black woman that's been single for a while, and she's starting to feel the pressure of not maybe having a child at some point. Maybe all her girlfriends are now married or in relationships. And I just think that sometimes it bothers a woman that a guy is that's a potential partner that she can't have. Mm-hmm. Now we got a few people that have popped in down here. Would you want to start bringing them in, or?
Yeah, you can. I mean, I feel so weird on this side because I'm like,
I know we can't do it like this no more. I don't like it like this.
I don't like it like this neither. I can't do anything. But yeah, go ahead. Let's start popping people in.
All right, so we're gonna bring in Miss BB and Glam Gypsy TV.
Hey, you guys.
Hi, how are you doing?
I'm well.
And I hope.
Hey, boy. Hey.
So you hear our conversation, and what I don't want, and Craig, I wanted to jump in while you were talking, but what I don't want this to turn into or feel like
there seems to be a more or less conflict amongst other Black women when our perception of how we interact with gay men is not the same as theirs.
Mm-hmm.
They have a tendency to be extremely more hostile toward us in light of. So is it something they're reflecting on us? It is, you can't get me over to your side like that. I view each individual as themselves only.
Mm-hmm.
So what is that feedback? What is it that we're getting during this time right now that reflects from one Black woman to another Black woman because they don't have the same perception of gay men? I look at it as individual. And my first manager, I didn't even know what gay was until we went to the Christmas party in terms of two men living together. And I realized it was only one bedroom. Okay. Look, after those Kool-Aid daiquiris, I was done. All right. But at that point, and even now, the abuse, either online, either in person, is because you don't have that same reflection of you got a problem with those gay men. I really need to try to get some education and understanding on where that extra comes from. Because I'm sure we're going to hear tonight from a lot of people that are going to tell you what the reasons are that they have. Mm-hmm. But I even more so want to know what the reason that they have a problem with me. Mm-hmm. Because I don't agree with that same philosophy.
Gotcha.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Glam Gypsy.
Hi, I'm Audrey. So I think that, well, I'll be transparent and say probably about 4 years ago, I was in a relationship with a guy that I had met online, of course. And I remember on the second day being with him, I asked him, were you gay? Because I just noticed some things that I didn't want to see. Mm-hmm. So he told me no, and nobody's ever asked me that. But as time went on, people around me could see things. And once again, apparently my gaydar was not strong enough to pick up on some things until my actual dad, came to me and was like, that he is straight up homosexual. And he probably did not want to admit it at the time because maybe he wasn't ready to come into that actual thing, or he just didn't want to tell me or felt the shame. I don't know. Or he could have been bisexual and just was not honest. But I just feel like, the dishonesty or the down lowness is what can cause women to feel, you know what I mean? Like distrustful of the whole thing altogether.
That animosity.
Mm-hmm. Right.
To keep,
because if he had been honest from the beginning, and we were young, if he had been honest, that would have gave me a choice to decide if I wanted to continue on with that or not. Just having the choice.
Mm-hmm.
Let me hit. Okay, so Miss BB, I want to hit first. So what the animosity, you want to understand what the animosity is between gay men and women.
Right. But no, what I'm asking is if we don't envelop that same attitude that those particular Black females have toward gay men,
right?
Why is the animosity directed toward anyone that does not? Okay.
Got you. So basically, and unfortunately, it's an unfortunate thing that y'all we just loop all y'all together. See, the problem with the thing with a lot of just people in general, not just gay, straight people in general, is if you've been hurt and hurt throughout your life or something, you're always on defense, and especially with gay black men are on defense at all, like when they're hurt, because they're hurt people. And so they're always, you can just be like, hey, what you say hey to me for? You gotta say just be ready, because you just don't never know. They don't never know where someone is coming from. So the animosity comes from just they're always on defense. They're so used to always fighting for their life that they don't give people a chance to really show their true.
So if what happens, and it's a black woman thing, where I have a gay trans godson, I have a lesbian niece. Okay, so I don't have any animosity toward gay men in that concept, but I am attacked many times because the young lady that just spoke, her situation is what her situation is. So she does not, and that's not you in particular, but because that particular black woman had that experience with gay men, then they want every other black woman to have that same level of animosity toward black men.
Right. Well, see, the thing, Ms. BB, is that unfortunately, like I said, we don't take the time out. Because people don't take the time out to get to know another person. So if I saw you, I wouldn't know. I don't know your background. I don't know where they come from. But if you come from a space where, and which just happens, not that your mother really wasn't there for you. Your aunt turned their back on you.
Right.
All these things are happening. So you grow a distrust of women.
And
but it's not even just women. It's just black. It's just the black community in general.
You grow a distrust of people.
Yeah, it's the black community in general. So it's just not just women, because unfortunately,
and you're right.
Not just the black community. You grow a distrust of people, right?
Just people in general. And the thing, unfortunately, the honest truth about it is that women are just an easier target.
Thank you.
If you were a big man, that he wouldn't give you the same animosity. But you're not a big black man. You are a small frame woman. So I can't give you the animosity. I can't come at you like that. I can't do those things for and not expect a reaction, because what you gonna do? Like, you know what I'm saying? That's the mind frame of it.
Right.
So
correct.
So they can't support. They're gonna attack regardless. But you're trying to attempt to make your perception of your interaction with gay men mine.
Right.
On top of us, and they already have their issues, and they don't let everyone inside as it is. As quiet as it kept between me, you, and gay folks, as my grandmother would say. Look, they don't allow you to get that close to them anyway, period. You might be an associate, but to be a real true friend, they're very skeptical. So we get this other, you got to believe like I believe, and they ain't this and they not that. No. So, and then then I'm under attack.
So Ms. BB,
that's what I'm trying to understand.
We're gonna let Takesha talk real quick, Ms. BB.
I think that
Takesha just jumped in. Takesha, is that you talking right now?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, go ahead.
I think that there's a huge. Well, I can only speak for myself. I think that
they ain't this and they not.
Hold on, Katina, turn your volume down, please. I had to hit your mute.
She mute.
Yeah, I just had to hit mute because I can hear us in the background. But go ahead, Takesha. I'm sorry.
Okay, I think that we're all coming from a place of trying to learn and needing to learn more about everything that's going on within the community, and we're all coming from trying to grasp almost at straws about what it is in, you know, what you're experiencing or what that person is experiencing. What I have found is that every time somebody says this is a safe space, here is a safe space, that space has not been safe. As a heterosexual woman, I have come into spaces that were supposed to be safe with an open mind, not having any particular idea about what it is, or just with an open mind to learn more about what this is or what that is. I had no idea what a transsexual woman was, what a transsexual man was, what went here, what went there, and to try to be open-minded about things only to be attacked just for asking a question. And now I understand, because they made it very clear. It's because there's a wall put up because you don't know who to trust. You don't know if someone is being insulting or not, if they're asking a question coming from a legitimate place of not knowing, or if they're trying to be very ugly or just ask you something to be invasive. So there's a give and take on both places, as far as, you know, maybe educate, if you're trying to educate yourself legitimately, if there's legitimately a question, or if you are just being a nasty person. So I understand that. Okay, that's one point. My other point is, I see a lot of times that when you said that's a waste of a man, I've never felt that when I see a gay man or I see a man that is transgender, I've never felt that was a waste of a man, because that man was never available to me. He did not. That man, even if there's a man, as the young lady was saying, he presented himself as a straight man, but he had tendencies to be something else. That man was never available to me. That's the easiest man to break up with you, because he was never available to you. He was never going to be yours. So he was never on my. He wasn't on my docket. I wasn't going to ever be able to have him. So he was that was, you can't take what wasn't going to be available to you. So I don't get that. Women really are not jealous of gay men. I have always had a good relationship with gay men. I've never had a problem with them. Lesbian women, never have I had an issue with them. But once coming online and trying to learn more, this is the most I've ever experienced gay people or people in the LGBTQ community, the most animosity and the kind of just ripping you to shreds. This is the most I've ever experienced, and it was supposed to be a safe space.
You made a really good point, Takesha, about in an effort to try to understand and asking questions and being attacked. And that's really the basis for why Derek and I have wanted to do all of these conversations. And I've said that so many times, the only way to bridge community, because I really do believe that a part of the work that I was called to do, you know, in life, is to bridge communities. And I think the only way that we can do that is if we have those tough conversations. And I've said this to trans people. In fact, Madison and I have had this T.S. Madison and I have had this conversation. I've said it to so many different people that sometimes you have to ask the tough questions, and it may sound offensive. But if I just don't know, if I'm coming from a place of not knowing, that the only way for me to learn and grow is for me to be able to ask a question that may be offensive. It's the reason that white folks don't ask certain things of black folks, because they don't want to be labeled racist. You know what I'm saying? So we have to give people the latitude to ask the questions that they don't know the answers to.
Now, Glam, what you say?
Black men do treat me well, and I'm not calling a transsexual or transgender person. I'm not calling them a man. I'm not calling them a woman. I'm just saying you do have transgender people that can be man and woman, male and female. Somebody in the chat just said, is she calling him a man? I'm not. I'm just saying transgender men and women, they can be. You can't have a transgender man and a transgender woman. They can both be male and female, if I'm correct.
Right, trans people, yeah.
Okay, I'm sorry. Let me say trans people, because I don't want to upset the narrative. I thought you could be a
and that's my
man.
and I'm a part of the LGBTQ community, and sometimes I say the wrong thing.
Yeah.
I mean, both sexes.
I don't know everything there is about the trans community.
People in the comments, y'all. Listen,
Yeah,
this is a
they
learning.
get so angry. Everybody becomes so angry. I'm just saying, you know, I thought you could have. They had a transgender lady who was transitioned to a man on their 1 week, and then, you know.
Yeah, we got Takesha. It's okay, girl. We got you. We got you back over here, girl. But Glam Gypsy, before we get it to Tina, Glam Gypsy, we want to kind of address your space. And a lot of people, with people with the DL thing, which I hate that word, but you have to understand that people are in different spaces in their life. You know what I'm saying? And the thing about it, there is a lot of Black men that may be gay that don't want to be gay, that's trying their best not to be gay, that trying to work their way out of being gay, and there's a real struggle with them. So yes, unfortunately, they find themselves in relationships with women, and it doesn't. But and if they were be honest, if they had the conversation, it probably would work out better. But a lot of them are scared to have the conversation because they don't know how the conversation is going to end. Right. Also, there is a lot of men that don't see themselves in the world of being gay, right? So they only see people like me, or they'll see a RuPaul, or they see a Miss Lawrence, or they see you know, all the drag queens and things of that nature, and they say, well, I'm not that. So if I'm not that, that means I can't be gay. Like, you know what I'm saying? And then they don't see the representation of themselves. So they're like, okay, well, then I must have to be with a woman.
Which is why they had to come up with all of these other terms, because a lot of men who struggle with sexuality issues, they don't identify as gay. So they came up with these other terms like MSM, men who have sex with other men, SGL, same gender loving. You know, so they come up with all these terms because there are some men or people who just don't identify or fall under the bracket of gay.
Yeah. So and they're still fine. And unfortunately, women are collateral damage in their finding their path. You know, is it a good thing? No, it's not. But you know, but they're trying to find their path to sexuality. And the question, my question to you guys is in the
down here
on the panel and it's in the comments. I mean, put like a number 2 if you agree, and number 1 if you don't agree. But if a man got with you, women, and said to you that, hey, I'm struggling with my sexuality, I'm trying to figure myself out, but I really like you, and I want to date you, but this is what I'm going through. Would y'all date with him? 1 is a yes, 2 is a no. So, and that's for your ladies.
No. No. Absolutely not.
Takesha, 1 second. Takesha, 1 second. I want you to finish. But and Katina, turn your volume down, please.
Would y'all date with him?
So I can hear it ring. I can hear it playing back.
Yeah, I keep hearing 2 different male voices, even though I'm not seeing your mouth move or.
Takesha, 1 second.
Oh, you see, it's because it's a like with us talking to each other right now, we're talking real time. But when you're playing it back, you have to turn off your turn down the YouTube.
Yes.
Because you got to play it on your YouTube too. So take your YouTube off, what you're watching it on, and just do it right here on the screen.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Go ahead, Takesha. I'm sorry.
Here, Craig, hold it down. I have to go get a charger.
Okay. Takesha, you want to finish your point?
I was just saying, no, I can't. I can't date him while he tries to figure it out. Once he figures it out, then he can, you know, don't practice on me. Work it out. You know, figure it out in your mind. But I'm not your practice, regardless whether you're trying to figure that out. If you are a straight man, I'm not gonna be your practice. Period. Right. I don't want to be anybody's practice. It doesn't really matter if you're gonna be a straight man, or if you're trying to figure, don't practice on me at all. I'm not practiced. I don't need to. I'm not going to practice on you. Don't practice on me. Okay.
Katina,
that's fair though, isn't it?
Did you have a point that you want to jump in, Katina?
Well, all I wanted to say was I have been with someone who said, because at that point I was, also asking myself questions. I find females very attractive, but, not enough that I finally figured out after trying, I'd rather have, a man. But I did meet someone else, and he said, what if I told you I had a lover at home? And I said, excuse me? What do you mean? Because we had met at work, got along really great, and we just decided to start hanging out and whatnot. And one night we were having dinner, a couple of drinks, one thing led to another. We made out, but we did not have intercourse.
Mm-hmm.
And but I kind of could, because I'm not going to say, because I have gay and lesbian family members, that I know when I'm with someone that is gay. But it caught me off surprise. Let me just say, I didn't think that he was, gay or
Bisexual.
let's just say not straight. Whatever his truth was, he wasn't 100% straight. And so I asked him, number one, how long you been married? How many kids? He was like, no, I don't mean that. I mean, I have a boyfriend. And it took me a minute to register that. But then again, we never agreed to be anything other than, so we never really talked about who likes or your sexual orientation, because I think I'm more asexual. I don't have to have sex to be happy. I mean, unless I connect, unless I emotionally, connect with someone, there are different things that I consider as intimacy. Just holding my hand when I'm going through one of my sickle cell pain crises, or bring me, a pink lily when I'm, down or whatever, kissing, or just, I don't know what it is about this piece of my ear that I like when someone, touches it. But so I just don't have, I guess, the same sex drive as women or as guys expect. But I can have sex and enjoy sex, but I don't just I'm fine. I've not dated seriously in like 4 years now. I think the last time I had sex was 2016. That was New Year's, and that was just casual with someone, with a friend.
So you just out these free child.
Okay. But anyways, yeah. And I asked, well, does that person know that you're over here? Does he know you're over here? And he's like, we're open, and if you are, you can come over and meet him, this, that. I'm like, no, I just know you, and I'd rather not get involved with, a relationship, period. So far, us just doing what it's nice and what have you, no strings attached, nothing. So therefore, there's no emotional breakdowns, breakups, nothing. You're not throwing them through my apartment window. I'm not. Your car doesn't accidentally get a brick thrown through it. Or by someone else.
Let me bring in Born to Be a Star.
Hello.
Hi there.
So y'all can see me. All right, that's better.
What did you want to comment?
So so first I have to start off by saying I am not a fully straight woman. However, I do primarily date men.
Okay.
So I feel like maybe I have a different point of view about it. I wouldn't mind being with a man who is cool. I don't want anybody who's questioning, but if you know you like both, I don't mind that. What I don't want is you to be in your experimental phase. Because then you really don't even know, because you could have just decided to only be with women before me because of your religion or whatever, and you really don't like women, and I don't want to be played with. But as long as you know where you're at, for me, just be real with me, don't lie, and understand that I get it. I might default to 2, and don't be jealous about it. But I've also done polyamory, so I think that might bring a different element. So I'm not adverse to someone being with someone else, and I think that more people need to realize that if everybody's getting divorced over cheating and money, we might need to get used to multiple partners.
Can I respond, Derek, to your initial question, which was if someone was in between the stage where they were trying to figure out what their sexuality. The reason I said yes is this, because we are attaching a stigma to the fact that this person or individual does not openly and honestly tell us that at the beginning, more so than if they did. So it's open at that point that you can make a decision, or the two of you. What if I'm trying to figure out which way I'm going or who I'm going with or whatever? So that's the whole purpose of the 90-day rule and those things, that you get to know that individual, because who can say from the beginning that you won't fall in love with a man that happens to like and love men and women? You can't say that at the beginning, because it's an individual thing.
So that would mean that you were open to dating a bisexual man. So if you're
open to dating a man, I am open to dating a man, regardless of his sexuality. And then, because we may not know that, but I would prefer that even whatever, regardless of what stage he was in his manhood, either men, women, or anyone, that at least he thought enough and respected me enough as a Black woman to say, hey, look, this is where I am. Then you got choices, because you don't ever know who you're going to fall in love with.
Okay, so let me say this. I want to hear us.
I think I would know who I was going to fall in love with. I know me well enough to know that there are certain things that I want from a man, and there are certain things that I would not want. And for you, that would be different, and that's just fine. But I want a man that is heterosexual, and I
just don't want other people. I don't want people that, because I feel like I do, and I care about whether you are a gay man.
That's your choice.
Exactly. So why is it that Black women have a tendency, because they have a problem with gay men, to have problems with us? Now, Derek approached it somewhat, and I'm waiting to hear from Craig, that, okay, it's because of whatever issues that they are in relation to their relationships outside of there. But there is a strong tendency to prejudice people that are just open to gay men having relationships or friendships with other women, with other Black women.
We can have a friendship with them without marrying them, though. We can be.
Nobody said anything about marriage.
All right, let me
Craig. Yeah.
Or being a boyfriend or a girlfriend to
them. Can Takesha hear me? I don't know if Takesha can hear me.
Go ahead. I can hear you.
Oh, okay. All right. Let me just bring us back, because we've kind of got a little
right. Yeah.
But so let me just lay this out here. Derek and I, when we were coming up with this conversation, I was saying to him that I have been told by women who don't even really know me casually, or just know me somewhat, and they'll say, and somebody in the comments, I think it's remotely something, he said, if you're a Black gay man that people find attractive, women find attractive, oftentimes they feel like you're a waste. And I've had women say to me, oh my God, you're such a waste. Case in point, one of my closest friends, when I first told her that I was gay, she broke down and cried. Like she literally cried on the phone. This is somebody I had gone to college with. And she cried and she said to me, you're supposed to be one of the good ones. You're one. No, she said, you're one of the good ones. You're supposed to get married and have children. She said, and she basically told me, she said, this is never going to work. Gay is wrong. You're never going to find happiness that way. So I want us to really kind of speak about that and talk about why, because I think that's a layer. It's not completely the answer, but I think that's one of the layers why gay men and Black women sometimes bump heads. And what I said to her was, because every time we had a conversation after I came out to her, it became this thing of, you know, it was always a conversation about being gay and me, it being a phase. And she was telling me it was a phase. And I said to her, I said, listen, if we're going to continue to have this conversation every single day, my suggestion to you, take some time. And then you come talk to me in 6 months or a year or whatever, because we're not going to have this battle every single day.
But Craig, are you are happy, aren't you? Because I saw you the other day when you and Derek were doing the promo for the show. You look pretty happy to me.
Yeah,
you look like you were happy. And I think you can have children unless something happened to you biologically where you cannot have a child. I think you can have kids, right? And you can get married.
Yes.
So all of those things have been disproven. You can have all the babies you want. You can get married. You can do all of those things. So all of those rumors have been dispelled. So did you call her and tell her she was dead wrong?
Absolutely. Well, I haven't talked to her in years.
I need to call her.
So Craig, that when you had those instances of that particular interrelationship or friendship, that now you have stood in your truth, okay, and she's out there still trying to figure it out. Why is it that people constantly, Black females, they want you to get on their boat? So they would come and talk to me and and this, and I told him this and that, and he was supposed to be this and he was supposed to do that, and there he is, he a waste. Sorry.
Well, you know, and I had a supervisor. At a company. This is when I was still working in corporate America. I had a supervisor, a Black woman, who used to say, but it was all in jokes, and I wasn't offended by it. But I'm sure there are some people who may be offended by it. But she said to me all of the time, she would give me all these compliments. I'm not going to go into that, but she would say all these things and be like, you just ain't had the right pussy. You know, she's like, I just need to put this pussy on you. And that, like, she used to say this all the time. And I think that there are some, because at the bottom of it, I think a lot of times people, since we're talking about Black folks, I think sometimes Black folks think that sexuality is a choice, that it's a decision, and that you can just pray away. And so it's a matter of just changing your mind, and it's not. So until we get that understanding, I think we'll all have this kind of this battle of, well, you could just be with a woman.
Click on Lisa, the Delta Queen.
It's a comment.
The P word ain't kept a man yet.
I actually dated a guy years ago, and he actually said his mother offered him money to pay me to sleep with their little, and I hate that F word, you know, English cigarette, that word. To sleep with their little, you know,
we got you, baby.
To straighten him out.
But here's another thing that I will offer to the conversation too. What I've noticed also is oftentimes with very effeminate gay men, oftentimes they clash with Black women.
I think that, so I want to just touch on both parts. So first of all, I think that Black women have been conditioned as a whole to believe there's not enough good black men out there to go around. So if you're conditioned to constantly say, oh, there's a lack of something, it's like with the toilet paper. Think about it. Where somebody said we're going to run out of toilet paper because of the pandemic. And so everybody went and like bought it all up and was scrounging, hiking up prices, making it seem like an overinflated problem. Nobody's ran out of toilet paper, but that was the mindset. So black women have constantly been told, I know growing up, obviously I'm black, I'm a woman. And so like, it's like, oh, you have to find a good man. There's not a lot of good black men out there. All our men are in jail or
that comment down there speaks to that. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. So it's like, that's part of the issue. So the whole feeling like a man who goes to, you know, the other men are a waste is because it's like, oh my gosh, we only have so many of men that are black that aren't in prison or have records. So now, in addition to taking from something I already feel a scarcity with, it's furthering my anxiety on the fact that I, as a black woman, have to, first of all, black women are told we have to be complete by marrying a good black man, or we can't be complete. So now, to complete myself, I have to find something, and there's already not enough. And now the ones that are here are going with someone I can't even provide that for you. So now I'm really freaking out emotionally, internally, because this mentality that has been pushed into our minds for so many years that is not really that true. I mean,
so how do we go? How do we how do we culminate the idea of that, and how do you correct the understanding, Derek and Craig, cultivate that understanding in black women that is not, I really like what the earlier young lady said about that person not being available to them. How do you have the community of these black women to understand that you're not out here trying to get their man? It ain't no little bit. You don't have to get married and have a family and live like Little House on the Prairie. That's a bad idea, but you know what I'm saying? How do we, as two gay black males, how do you go about having an understanding come that that's not the issue, that the word fish ain't for our community? It was that was a term that is completely and completely within the gay community. Okay, it wasn't for us at all, and it don't mean I got a smelly yoni. It don't mean that for JJ, but it ain't my word to use anyway. So how do we go about having more of an understanding from these women that even the ones from your past, Derek and Craig, even the ones from your past that now have a problem with you being gay? Okay.
Wait, are you talking about the phrase like calling women fish?
Let's not.
No. No, I'm sorry I even said that. No, that simply was an example. I asked a question of Craig and Derek. How do you go about changing the community, the black? Forget that I even mentioned that.
Somebody just put a comment down.
We not.
That is not. That's the small part of the question. Listen, don't get off on that. My question. My question is. I'm going back. My question is, how do you
really bad
enlighten, educate the black women? Okay, it has nothing to do with a word. How do you educate in
the black woman? Right. Okay. So we got Craig. Okay. You can't never be in control no more, Craig. Okay, I can't let you be in control.
I was trying to mute them. I was trying not to mute them.
I let Craig be by himself one night, and he let all hell break loose.
I was trying not to mute them.
Listen, this is my. I want y'all to see. This is not texting to Craig. This is me texting Craig this whole time. I'm like, Craig, what is going on? What are you doing?
Okay,
Craig cannot be in control no more.
Okay,
so let's start. Okay, so let me say my little part, Craig, and you can go ahead with your long-winded. Miss BB, to answer your question, it's not that starts at the home with your mother, with your father. They have to teach you that. Ain't nothing we can do. You know what I'm saying? So the thing is that you have to start teaching the mother and the father. Your home, they have to teach women that they're not push that into their head. Ain't nothing we can tell you. It's what you got to do at home. So you as women have to break the cycle for the next generation of women. We can't tell you what to do. We can't tell you what to do that. We gave Craig one job. You are right. Go ahead.
Now here's what I was going to say. First, Miss BB, they said you're yelling. They said stop yelling.
Yes.
They can hear you.
I'm sorry. It's my hearing aid. I'm gonna turn it down. Just let me know when. Okay. Okay. Yeah. And I'm not yelling like on purpose.
Oh yeah, we know. It's okay, baby.
Okay.
And so then the other part of it is somebody in the comments made a really good point. Oftentimes, Black women feel limited to only date Black men, and so to Born to Be a Star's point, sometimes, not all of the time, Black women are convinced that most of the good men or most Black men are in jail or they're gay. You see it in these magazines, whether it's Essence magazine talking about how
women got them
married and this kind of thing. But my thing has always been, and I've said this to my female friends, I want you to find love. If that means dating outside of the Black community, then by all means do that. But we see what happens when people find love outside of the Black community. We've seen it with Serena Williams. She dated Black men, and then she finally get married to this white guy, and everybody, all hell breaks loose. But she dated Black men. Black men said that she was too masculine. She was too this, or they were threatened by her success, or whatever the case was. So my thing is, if Black women didn't feel obligated, if you will, to only find love in the Black community, I think that would release some of the friction as well.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay, so this
what about only dating straight men?
Wait, Miss BB, girl, she jumps right on in, girl. Jesus. Okay.
Miss BB gonna say what she got to say.
Right. So Craig, this is what we gonna do.
Uh-huh.
I see Raina just popped in, but Craig, clear the screen for me real quick. We're gonna drop her down, ladies. And we're gonna clear the screen for me, Craig. I gotta produce him here. Jesus.
You get for not coming over here tonight.
Yeah,
you want everybody to come out?
Yeah, everybody can come out. Okay. Everybody come out.
Right, I'm sorry. Hold on. Okay. Girl, I'm trying to add the comments over here.
I can't let you do this by yourself no more. I see. I am so sorry.
I'm trying to remember my points.
I thought you could handle it. I know you Jesus. Okay. So this conversation has gone all over the place. It's all every which way. But I want to clear it for a second, so we gotta bring it back into where we're supposed to be. This is the part that Craig normally do, but I guess I got to do it now. So we want to kind of bring the conversation back, and the conversation is just more about trying to have the understanding. And from the women that we talk to, you know, they're from what I'm gathering, they're trying to feel why the things are happening the way they happen with Black men and then with Black gay men. And, you know, and then from we haven't heard we heard from the gay men in the comments, but we haven't really heard anyone talking, but just us two. And I think unfortunately, we generalize everything. Mm-hmm. You know, do I believe that all Black women have a problem with gay men? No. Do I believe that all Black gay men have a problem with women? No. But there are a majority of people that in both sectors that have their issues. And is it a prejudice? Is it a belief? I don't know what it really is, but I know speaking from a Black gay man, and I guess from a straight Black woman, I think all of our stuff come out of frustration. Mm-hmm. You know, frustration from a Black woman because she's not really able to understand. The frustration from the black gay man because he's always on defense. So that's where I'm feeling. That's where I'm feeling where the miscommunication is. I think, and the communication is a big thing of this, that we don't communicate. You know, because I want you guys to understand something. Being black is one thing. Being black and gay is a whole nother thing. And you know, and I think, and when you throw that gay element into it, especially as from a black man, and having that conversation, what should somebody say? They don't like gay men like Derek J. No, you're absolutely right, Momo. But no, take that back. They don't actually like. They don't. I've dealt with women that don't like. They don't like straight presenting gay men because they feel like if you're straight presenting gay men, a gay man, that they are that they're trying to trick you. Because when you see them, you can't tell that they're gay, and you know, and that's all those things fall into it because it's like, well, how do you tell if somebody's gay? What does gay look like? You know, it's all those things. But I can ramble on. Go ahead, Craig.
I thought you were making a point.
I was making a point, but I was rambling on by my point. The point at the end of the day is that it's about communication, and I think none of us communicate, and without communication, then also brings frustration. You know.
And one of the things that I've heard black women say, because I want to give it from both sides, is they don't like to be called bitch. And gay men use the word bitch like they use the word the. Now,
bitch is a term of endearment.
Now, and I understand that a lot of gay men say that. Now, I personally do not use that word when I'm talking to my female friends. Now, I call you bitch all day long.
You do.
I call Madison bitch all day long. I call people within the gay community bitch. I just don't call women bitch. I just don't. Even my close friends. And I'm gonna tell you something, and I'm gonna flip it. I don't like when black women, because we're talking about black people. I don't like when black women say, "Oh, Miss Thing," or "Hey, Miss Girl," or "Hey, bitch," or "Hey, girl." I don't like that.
That burns me up too. When y'all see me, I'm saying this to y'all. First of all, like, share, and subscribe, all that good stuff. Thank you, Leticia, for making that happen here. But make sure y'all like this. But I'm with this too. It bothers me when I see a woman and somebody comes, yes, Miss Derek J, girlfriend, yes, girl, work, bitch, yes, girl. I'm like, first of all, I don't even talk like that. What are we talking about? I don't do any of those things. But it's a generalization and the stereotype of what being black and gay, being a black gay man is, and that's how the women come at me. To me, that's disrespectful to me because that's not my judge. I also saw a comment in here, but I want you to click, but you know you were busy. Where she said one of the people asked, do you get uncomfortable or feel weird when women compliment you? And see, for me, when I get very uncomfortable and weird, because there's so many women, believe it or not, y'all, women try to sleep with me all the time. That is weird. That bothers me. And that stresses me out. Because it's like, listen, lady, I'm not trying to sleep with you. Like, I don't want to sleep with you. I don't want to be with you. I would say I was reading a comment. I would say out of a year, 6 women try to sleep with me. And then it's like, I don't like, please, lady, like, just stop. Now that's uncomfortable. That is.
I have a question.
Yes.
So do they want to sleep with you with or without your heels?
Depending. It's depending. Because the thing is that, no, Craig, I could be a full
regalia,
honey, and they're like, hey, what's up? Rub on, you know, I'm like, girl, if you don't go somewhere, I'm like, what's wrong with you? Now that bothers me. That freaks me out. Because I don't want none of that.
I want to know who these women are.
I'm telling you, no, it's a lot of, I am telling you.
No, I believe it.
I believe if Sherry Shepherd was on here, if I get Sherry Shepherd on here, Sherry Shepherd saw it happen with her own eyes. She was like, lady, are you serious right now? She's like, yes. I'm like, girl, what? I was in Jamaica. This woman tried to sleep with me in Jamaica. 2 women tried to sleep with me on the Time Joiner cruise. It always happens. But see, yeah, those women might be, I'm not pansexual. Honey, I don't want no woman.
I need to remove some of the ladies down here because there's some people trying to get in.
Okay, well, just remove some of the others. Thank you, Miss BB, for your conversation, girl. We're going to let you go, Miss BB. So slide some of these people out.
So we can bring in some of the other people. Okay, so you want to bring in?
Is there any men down there?
You're right. We need some men to come in.
And no, but that's something. Well, wait, so Craig, that's enough. Don't try to bring in 17 people.
Raina, are you there?
Yes, I'm here. Can you hear me?
All the time, Craig.
Yes, I can hear you.
So,
Okay.
Raina, you was with us earlier. So, hey, so talk to us, Raina. What's your thoughts on this?
Well, good evening, and thank you for having this conversation. I really appreciate it. I believe in our trying to understand the LGBTQ community, like the woman before said, that a lot of times in our understanding, when we're trying to ask questions about the community, in our understanding, we do get a lot of backlash.
Mm-hmm.
And so immediately, and I believe this is for most people, when you feel that type of energy coming, the energy is going to come right back. Okay. Mm-hmm. So if you're going to throw, if in me trying to understand and me asking questions, and then you automatically have an attitude or pop off or whatever, naturally, I'm going to give it right back to you, and I'm going to have some type of animosity. So that's one thing. Mm-hmm. The second part is, again, in our trying to understand and learn more about the community, I think we all should have a right to agree to disagree.
Yes.
Okay. So if I don't agree with something that you said, whether it's about the community or your lingo or something like that, I have that right to disagree. That does not mean that I want to hurt you. That does not mean that I want to, that I just hate you or hate the community. No, it's just I disagree. I'm human. Mm-hmm. I have my own thoughts and opinions. We should all have our own thoughts and opinions, and it be okay. And it seems like when we have differences of opinions, within this context of the community, mm-hmm. we automatically, the community automatically is like, no, you're homophobic. Oh, no, some things I just don't I just disagree with. Like, for instance, and I don't want to bring up this point again, but I have to just for an example, mm-hmm. like the term fish. Okay, mm-hmm. I understand that it's not a derogatory term towards women. I know that it's used within the community, mm-hmm. but if a woman says, I do not want that word used around me in my presence, as far as you talking to me or whatever, you should respect that.
That's true.
Period. Because if it was flipped and we said something and you said, hey, I don't really like that word, it's not really a nice word in our community for me, we should respect that as well. And you expect us to respect that. So I think that is where we're getting, I think the part about communication is probably where it all, lines mm-hmm. up, is we need to communicate better, mm-hmm. and respect each other better as well. Respect is a big thing. Mm-hmm. So that's where I am with it.
And Raina, is it Raina? How am I saying it right?
Well, it's actually pronounced Raina.
Raina.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
So okay. Raina, and I can speak from this I just learned how to let things go, but I can speak from my own experience, just from a Black gay male perspective. Like I said earlier, we've been attacked and hurt and beat up and so much from the Black community, from the church, like I said, from your family, from your church, from just people, from men, so like I said, it's unfortunate, but we are always just on the defense, even when you are trying to learn. And I think that we want everybody to understand us right away, when that's not the case. Mm-hmm. And like I said, when me and Craig said, hell, this stuff we don't even know, and we right. And we don't even know a lot of this stuff. So that's why we have these conversations, so we can get the understanding. Like, y'all, listen, we as the Black LGBTQ community have to lighten up. We have mm-hmm. to also allow people to learn. We can't assume they know all these things, because hell, we don't even know all these things. News I just learned about was cisgender and all that kind of stuff. Well, I didn't know nothing about this stuff. I just thought it was a straight woman. I didn't know that I'm a cisgendered gay man. What? Okay. I didn't know. I'm learning all these things too. So what I am saying to my LGBTQ community of Black people is that we have to lighten up. We have to be able to have an understanding. We have to be able to let people ask questions. And like you said, we have to be able to learn how to agree to disagree. So I'm with you, Raina. And
to your point, right, I always said to my gay friends or people that I come into contact that are gay, you have to be patient with people in terms of digesting like this new reality. Like when you come out to them, especially in the context of your parents. Like when I came out to my mom, I was 22 years old. And sometimes as gay folks, when we make the decision that we're now free and we want to be out of the closet, we want everybody to digest it right away. It took me 22 years to become comfortable in my sexuality. I couldn't expect my mother to be comfortable in 2 weeks. So I had to be patient with her. I had to spoon feed her certain things. I didn't throw it in her face and say, oh, I went on a date today, or me and my boyfriend did this, that, and the third. And I think sometimes as gay folks or LGBTQ people, we sometimes expect everybody to just fall in line because we've now gotten to the point that we're ready to live in our truth. And it just requires a little bit of patience and understanding. Now we do have some more gay men. Well, I can't.
Wait, Craig, let me produce you. Raina, thank you very much. So can we draw Raina out? We have Tammy here. Let's speak to Tammy, and then we'll bring people up, okay?
Hey, you guys.
Hey, Tammy.
I love you guys. I've been watching you guys for since you guys first started going live, and it's a pleasure to talk to you both.
Thank you, Tammy.
Thank you for watching.
Okay. My first thing is what Craig just said about spoon feeding your mom. There's an episode of Grey's Anatomy where there were two girls and they were together. One of them used to date men, and then she started dating women. Her father came, and her father wasn't accepting. The girlfriend tells her, you know, you can't be so upset with your dad because he didn't change. Nothing's changed for him. He's always been who he is. You used to date men, and now you're dating women, and you're giving it to him, and you're expecting him overnight to just be okay. So I get what you're saying, Craig, and I thank you for putting that out there, because it doesn't mean that women or parents don't accept. It's just, give me a second to digest this.
Yes. And you have your ideas of what you want to be.
It's also, and I don't want to take too much time because I would like to hear some men on here, but it's also kind of like, I put myself, because I'm a mother of 4 and 2 of my children are gay. And I put myself, I kind of feel like those white people right now that have always felt like, well, I don't see color. I've never called anybody the N-word, so I'm not prejudiced. When my kids told me, it was really not that big of a deal to me, and I probably could have handled it differently, but I felt like if I talked about it more, that I would be making them feel some type of way. You know what I mean? So I felt, okay, that's the way. All right, well, let's move on. This needs to be done. Come on, I'm a Black mama, a single Black mama. I got shit to do. No, you know I love you. You know I'm here for you. You know all that. Good. So I think, I don't know if it's so much that straight Black women have a problem with gay Black men, or the ones that do. I wonder if that they're jealous. Jealous that they can, not necessarily jealous of them that they're gay or whatever, but jealous that they can be who they are. You know what I mean? Does that make sense?
Unapologetic.
Right. I wonder if those women, and same for the opposite, because this conversation is why gay black men have a problem with straight black women, and straight black women have a problem with gay black men. Am I correct? Because the beginning of this whole thing kind of got me twisted. I thought we were talking about dating black men. I don't know.
Yeah, that's the whole thing. But you know what? Can I say something to you, Tammy? And I saw somebody that says that their child came out. Now, what I do want you guys to, if you have a child that's coming out, I know that as black women, y'all got things to do, but y'all also can't dismiss it. Not, no, and that's like, okay, you gay, okay, now, and we gotta. It still has to. You have to still
process it.
Because
I think
well, then where was y'all at then? Because see, my kids are grown now.
Right. because you know what, Tammy, and for all of the moms listening, because I believe that there is a PTSD that comes with coming out.
Mm-hmm.
There's a post-traumatic stress that can come
in this day and age, in 2020.
Absolutely.
Yes. Because the thing is, Tab, you gotta remember, it's just as many mothers that say, okay, you gay, I love you, let's keep it moving. It's just as many mothers say, get the fuck out of my house. You can't have your gay self here. Is those, so even though in my head I know that my mom is gonna be good, it still stresses me out to even know what you're hoping. Your hope is that it's going to be accepting, but for most people, it doesn't work out that way.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah, but thank you, Tammy, for being.
I appreciate you guys letting me on, and like I said, I've been a fan. I've been watching you, Craig. I watch you over on T.S. Madison. We go way back on RHOA. So. Yeah.
Thank you, Tammy.
All right, thank you.
Drop Tammy out, Craig. There we go. Good. All right. Now, there we go. So, hey, Daryl, how are you?
Oh, I'm good. How y'all doing?
I'm well, thank you. And hey,
I'm gonna bring Monty in too because he was there too.
Yes. Is it Monty or Monty?
It's Monty.
Okay, Monty. So, hey, Monty and Daryl. So, let's start with you, Monty. What do you have to add to this conversation?
What I have to add to the conversation is, as a professional Black gay male, I've had to run in with other educated Black women. Mm-hmm. And oftentimes it has not been good. Mm-hmm. Because most of the time when you go into these top Fortune 100 organizations, I'm the only Black guy there. I'm the only Black gay guy there. Mm-hmm. And once I reveal to Black women within the organization, and it's limited with Black women that I'm gay, there's like a divide. Mm-hmm. It's like I'm coming for, like, if they're like a VP, I'm coming for their position. Or it's because I'm gay, they feel like I've done a lot of things in life that they have not done. Like, for example, like, as a gay male, I have a little bit extra income that they don't have. Mm-hmm. Residual income that they don't have. So, of course, I can go to Paris, or I can go to Cancun on the weekend. And that has not been, like, gone over well with Black women within the organizations that I've worked with. Mm-hmm.
So do you feel So what is it like? Do you feel it's an aggression, or do you feel it's like I don't want to use, I hate the word jealousy, but sometimes that's what it is. Is it a jealousy that you feel? Like, what is it that you feel in that space?
Sometimes it's mainly a jealousy. It's a jealousy because, I wouldn't say because you're gay, it's because that you're doing the things that they would have thought they would have been doing in their lifetime. If that makes sense.
No, I understand. But so hold on, give us 1 second, Monty. Let's see what Daryl has to say. Daryl?
Well, it's kind of two things that I kind of think about. So my experience with straight Black women have always been pretty encouraging. So I don't really get a lot of the the negativity, but a lot of times I think it's steeped in, you know, some of our religious beliefs. I mean, if we're going to talk about straight Black women and Christianity, and this indoctrination is on both sides. So we, as a lot of Black gay men who typically were raised in church, we were around a lot of Black straight women who the condemnation almost went hand in hand. And so I do think that sometimes Black gay men in particular, when they approach some Black straight women, immediately think about that judgment of the damnation of being a homosexual and things like that. And then sometimes it's kind of supported when a Black woman will say, you know, like, I've been met with the whole, you know, well, you're waste, or it's like invalidating me as a human being because I just do not like women. So I think that that's some of it. But I also think that, you know, I think that Black gay men in particular, and maybe this is probably why my experience is much better, we are still men, no matter how we present, and we have a duty to protect Black women. And sometimes we leave that out of the conversation from hurts or whatever, but much of the time we benefit from our male privilege, whether we're gay or not. Like, we benefit, gay Black men benefit from being men. And so when we're in workspaces with Black women, you know, sometimes we may excel. And some of that is based upon the fact that we're men, even though there may be levels of shared feminism or things like that. But I don't know, those are the two things that I mainly think about. I just think that it's, you know, I don't think we can have this conversation without really talking about the Black church. And what that means in our relationship to Black women.
And, you know, and I like what you just said, Daryl, which I think that just as Black men in general, we do forget that we do supposed to protect our Black women. Like, you know, and I think that, and then I think that a lot of Black gay men, whether if Black gay feminine men, feel that they don't have that same responsibility, and they do.
Come on now.
Yeah, you know, even in my full situation in heels, purse, bag, caftan, I still hold a door for a woman. I still make sure she's okay. Because at the end of the day, I'm a man first. And yes, we as men, we forget, gay men do forget that part of it, that we are the protectors of Black women because we are Black men at first.
And it's interesting that you raise that point, because I have said to my female friends, when you're with me, don't go and reach for that door. You step to the side. And I've actually taught, and I use the word loosely, some of my straight female friends, when you're with any man, straight or gay, you step to the side. You need to train him to open that door for you. You understand? Like, and I think you and I just want to underscore what you just said, because a lot of gay men just think that we're now counterparts. We're now the same.
And we're not. Yeah, we're not. Thank you so much for your.
Oh, I'm sorry. Oh, can I just say one more thing? I think that the other thing is just, I think definitely in workspaces in particular. So like when Black women are being silenced, do we speak up for them? Or do we create the space for them to speak? And so I think that whether we're gay or not, many Black women expect that from us because we are supposed to fill that role for them. And we don't many times, you know? So that was it. It was nice talking to you guys, though.
Thank you, because you taught me something today too. That, like, you know, I know now that it's if I have the space to speak up for a Black woman in that space, I need to do that.
Yeah.
Thank you, Daryl.
And we have Candy down here. Did you want to make a point before we bring Candy in?
No, it's okay. Go ahead, Craig. You're doing well. You're doing better now. There you go. Hi, Candy.
Hello.
How are you?
I'm doing well. How are you guys?
Good. How are you?
Thank you.
Okay. So this is the point that I want to make. I'm a 50-year-old. And I just remember growing up all my life, I remember gay women being friends with Black men. I feel, I'm sorry, Black women being friends with gay men all my life. I remember that in the neighborhoods, it was like you always had friends that were gay. I think the division came when it started to get to the point where there became competition. So that's why we hear so many Black women say, you can't compete with me. And that's where I think that can come from. It's like, you've always been my friend. Where did this thing start where you felt like you had to start competing with me? You started wanting to date the guys that I was dating, you know, and doing some of the things that I was doing as a woman. I take issue with the word cisgender, and I want to talk about that. And I think that's a big thing in the community as far as straight women, gay men, transsexual women. I have been known as a woman my whole life. Predating all the way back to the Bible, it says that woman was taken out of man. So now since 1990, this word cisgender comes up.
But girl, 1990, girl, that word just came up in 2018.
Well, I researched it when I started to hear surface.
Oh, it came up in 1990.
And the first time, 1990, it was in, someone did a paper, and it showed up in a paper that they did. So this is the thing. How is it that a transgender woman will call herself a transgender woman, and then I come to the term of cisgender when I have always been a woman, predating all the way back to biblical days? I think some of those are the issues. It's like in the gay community, so much respect is wanted, but sometimes none is given. And that's a big issue.
Yeah, I agree with you. I agree with you. I agree with you on that, Candy. Is that they in the LGBTQ community, it's so much respect that they want, but they don't want to give the same respect back. You know, and it's so many rules and regulations and things that come into play when you're dealing in that space that nobody even taught you. You know, so like you can, like, how can I play this game and I don't know the rules? You know,
exactly.
Yeah, so I'm with you, and thank you, Candy, for doing your research on it, because I didn't know that. Because I just started hearing about cisgender last year, and I was like, "What is this? I don't even know what this is."
Exactly, and that's part of the problem. It's like you take woman from me, and transgender women have picked it up, but then you turn around and want to call me a cisgender woman when I've been called a woman all of my life. And that's a problem for a lot of Black women.
You know, unfortunately, and I hate to say this, but you know, but it's been said before, but I just wish, it hurts my heart that we don't give Black women the respect that they deserve. We really don't, and that's just across the board. White men don't give it to them. White women don't give it to them. Black men don't give it to them, and Black women don't give them to themselves. So it's just like Black women is always just at the bottom of the totem pole, and that should not be the case, you know. And I wish you know, us growing into new generations that we can change that narrative for Black women.
Exactly. And that's what I think all of this stems from, and it's all the basis of, because like I say, we've always been friends with gay Black men. We've always been friends with lesbian women. I mean, at one time the term was called a stud. That term is not being used anymore, but we've always been friends. It has never been an issue until, like, I would say the last maybe anywhere from 3 to 5 years. Now it's such a big deal, but again, it's so much competition. And when you have all of these, and that's one thing, and I listen to a lot Flame Monroe, and I understand him so much, him, her, but like he say, whatever you see me as, I'm he, she, we. It's like it's so many pansexual, bisexual, gender fluidity. It's just so much, and it's like I can't keep up. Like it's not a disrespect to the community, but it's too much to keep up with. What are you? Are you a man that like a man and sometimes like to be with women? Or are you a woman that only strictly like to be with women? Like what? Just tell me what you like. All of these
and
names is too much.
And also, Candy, and you know what? And it's not fair for me to try to make you understand because this not even your world. So it's not fair for me to make you understand my situation when you don't even live in it in the first place. So, but thank you. So
and then the thing is, because the love that I have for my Black people, it don't matter what you are and where you come from. I want to understand. But again, just tell me what you like. And once you tell me what you like, then you can put the title on the name of what it is. But don't expect me to come at you with the name when I don't even understand it. Tell me what you like and then tell me what it's called. And then we can go from there.
And there we go. Thank you, Candy.
It was wonderful talking to y'all.
Thank you.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you.
Bye-bye. You want to bring liquid Tika in?
Go ahead. You did. You got a hang of it now, Craig. You good. Hey, Tika.
Hi, guys. Nice to talk to you. Hi, Craig. Hi, Derek.
Hi there.
I just want to say something that's true to my life. My hairdresser is gay. My cousin is gay. My best friend is gay. So for me, as a heterosexual Black woman, I've always had a positive outlook on gay Black men, or either gay men. Like my hairdresser, for instance. When he does my hair, lays my hair, I'll walk out the salon looking on point. And if I come in looking raggedy, he said, girl, what dragged you in? So it's always been positive with my hairdresser. When it comes to my cousin, we go shopping. He said, don't get that dress, bitch. No, why do you? No. Get that. That's that. And if I tell him, I said, people don't really like me that much at work. They say, you know why? Look at you. And he would always encourage me. So like going shopping, going out to eat, getting my hair done. As a heterosexual Black woman, I've never really had any negativity when it came to gay men, in my case. And for vice versa. They never, said anything negative to me. So I've always had, that's why I like you guys so much. I've always had a positive. I've never had any gay man come up to me and was rude in my life. And I'm 40 years old. So, I mean, I'm sure there's a lot of people out there that are rude and disrespectful, but I've never came, even in my building where I live in Long Beach, right on the beach. It's not really a Black area. And the gay guys in my building are not Black. They are very nice to me, and actually nicer than just some of the. You know what? I'm going to tell you this, and then I'll go. It's weird. Is that the gay men are nicer to me. They're open the door for me, talk to me. But when it comes to a heterosexual man, it's the opposite. They won't even look in my eye and say good morning. I could be walking down the street going to the gym. Won't even look in my eye, but a gay guy or one of my gay neighbors, hey, Tika, what's up? So I don't know. I think I get more negativity from heterosexual men, me being heterosexual. I mean, that's been in my experience, even on my job. I don't know. That's what I got to say.
And it has the liquidburns.org.
Yes, that's me. That's my company.
I use your oatmeal soap today on my face.
Oh, good. Yes, I sent you a surprise in the mail. I don't think you got it yet.
Oh, okay. All right. Thank you.
But yeah, what about you? Tell me about the liquid birds we get off, Craig.
I will.
Yes. Derek, I wish you could do my hair. I really would. Ooh, I live in California, so.
So listen, when you're ever in Atlanta, I got you, baby.
Okay, I'm gonna look you up, and thank you guys.
All right, Tika.
Okay, bye-bye.
Bye-bye. She has such a great speaking voice.
Yes, she does. So how many? What's it looking like down there, Craig?
Ain't nobody down there now.
Oh, great, because we getting our 1:30 mark.
Right.
Yeah, good job. So whoa.
Let me grab my charger.
Craig stressed me out today, y'all. Craig stressed me out today, but we made it through, you guys.
We made it through.
This was a very insightful conversation. And I actually like the fact that we didn't have a panel and we were able to bring people in and hear your stories and hear your feelings. Some may have been way off, but hey, it was there. They were still your feelings. And I'll ask you about that in a minute, Craig. But I appreciate you guys for being here and talking to us and engaging into this conversation, because this is a conversation that needs to be had. And as you can see, we have women like Tika that have amazing experiences, but then we have other women that we talk to that had different experiences, and we have men that have different experiences. But what we do all learn from this conversation is that we have to have better communication,
right?
Have better understanding. So yeah, that's what I got from this, is better communication. And as far as my Black gay men, or my Black men in general, gay or straight, that maybe listen to this live or on this live, we have to protect our Black women. Neither here nor there. I know some of them may get on your nerves, some of them may be out the way, and some of them may say some crazy stuff. But at the end of the day, there are still Black women that we do have to protect, because we are Black men, and that's what we are here for.
Mm-hmm. Well, I think that sums it up. I've said everything that I've wanted to say. Here's what I will tell you. The very next conversation will be 2 weeks from today.
Yes.
And do you remember what it is, Derek?
I don't, because you have all of your stuff on the calendar.
It is the Black gay community and ageism.
Oh, yes.
And
this is a good one.
Yes. So, when we
Greg is old in the gay world, like ancient.
I'm sorry?
You're old. But this conversation is to talk about, and there is no space, there's no middle-aged space in the gay community. It's either you're young and twinky, or you're like old and sugar daddy-ish. But that middle space is very not there.
Yeah.
We want to have that conversation.
But tell them what that middle space is, because when you and I were putting this together, you gave me a specific age range.
Well, I'm thinking, for me, I'm gonna be nice to say 35, like that 35 to 45 mark is a very weird space for Black gay men. What the gay community, what for Black gay men? It's a very weird space, that 35 to 45, and really it's 32 to 45.
Right.
But 35 to 45 is a really weird space for Black gay men, because you don't really know where you are at.
Right.
That I would say 30. 30 is the new 60 in the gay world. So yeah, so when you get that 30 world is real funny style.
And see, here's the thing. Part of the reason that people always make fun of me, like my friends always make fun of me, because on my Instagram, if I post a picture of myself, I usually will put #he's 44. But that's me just trying to take some of the stigma out of getting older. Like, I welcome getting older, because listen, I came through this community. When I came into this community, I was 22. A lot of them children are gone.
Mm-hmm.
They didn't even get to 30 for whatever reason. Mm-hmm. And so I think that a lot of times, and this is just my opinion, gay men are sometimes more sensitive about their age than women. Yeah. You know, women usually cover their age. Gay men really protect their age.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just almost like this fear of getting older. And I talk about this all the time, the Peter Pan syndrome. A lot of gay men suffer from what's called the Peter Pan syndrome, that fear of just don't want to get older.
Mm-hmm.
And you see it all the time in the gay clubs. You see the older guys. And when I say older, I mean above 40 or whatever. And they're still dressing like they're 20.
Mm-hmm.
Throwback jerseys. And you got on these fancy, colorful sneakers. And you're like, well, are you 43 or are you 19?
Mm-hmm.
So I want this conversation to be, did you want to include lesbian women? Because again, these conversations are about LGBTQ, Black LGBTQ people.
Yeah. So it's both women. Well, I'm not a lesbian, so I don't know what their space is.
If that's a thing in the lesbian.
But we also can have that conversation if it's not a thing, we don't know.
Right.
So, yeah. So we would love to so the LGBTQ.
Right.
In that space. We would love to hear from you. There's the email address. They said the lesbians do it too. So yes.
Okay.
So the email address is glmconvo@gmail.com. Send us your name, your age for this one.
Yes.
Know how old you are. And then a brief paragraph of how you can add to this conversation, and a picture and the contact information, so we can get in contact with you. We want to see a picture. We just know who we're talking to. That's right. We just want to know who we're talking to.
Yeah, so just email us here. The email is rolling across the bottom. It's glmconvo@gmail.com. And again, you don't have to be above 30. You can be 25, 23, 22, whatever. Because I have a lot of young gay boys that say to me, "Oh, you old." Like they quit that like that's their first like dagger that they throw at me. And I'm like, baby, you're not insulting me by saying that. Like, especially because most of you young kids look older than I do.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, so that's our next conversation. It's going to be July 15th. So it's 2 weeks from today. Mm-hmm. And we want to hear from you. So please email us. This is anybody that's Black and LGBTQ.
Yes, Black, please, because it's Black LGBTQ. That's why we ask pictures, because, we got a couple of times. We're like, wait, girl, you ain't Black. I want to say thank you for everyone that sent Cash Apps over, because like I said, this does cost us, and we're not making money yet. So thank you for doing that. And you know what? I mean, I need a producer's fee today, because I had to produce via Skype today. So yeah.
Thank you, Lenny, Scott, and Star for the Cash Apps. I really appreciate it, because again, we do this costs us. Yeah. But thank you for being here. Please share this video in your Facebook groups. Please subscribe to our respective channels, and we'll see you next time.
Yes, and all Black Lives Matter.
Oh, okay. I thought you were about to say all lives matter.
No. Listen, I had to read it. I had to read a couple times. Like, what she saying now, girl? You saying all lives matter, girl? But no. But yeah. All
right. Bye, y'all.
Bye, y'all.